So I'm going to give a scenario first.
I'm ready.
You go to a restaurant and you order a dinner that you get it and you're like, this is terrible. I hate this. This is the grossest thing I've ever had. I absolutely loathe it. You leave. 3 days later, you go back to the same restaurant. You order the exact
Not
same
doing
thing.
that.
No.
0%.
Sure. But you do. Okay. And you're like, this is terrible. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. You leave. 3 days later, you go back. You order the exact same thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason in your mind, you're thinking like,
It'll be different this time.
It's never different. Okay. So, I kind of liken that scenario to people who don't enjoy their intimate life.
Okay. I was about to say.
See where I'm going?
Yeah, it took me a minute though.
You see where I'm going?
Because I'm like, I would never go back to that restaurant.
Bedford's
You know me.
really stuck.
Remember that dude at Park City?
Yeah.
We went to Park City. We went to a restaurant. This clown, I hate him.
Bedford.
We go in there and I'm craving brownies. And I look on the menu, I'm like, ooh, those are gluten-free brownies. So I asked the man, I was like, hey, do these brownies taste gluten-free?
He's like, no, absolutely
Well,
they
he's
don't.
like, what does that mean? And that should have been my answer right then and there.
Yeah, it should have.
Okay, when he said, what do you mean it tastes gluten-free? Like, I'm like, does it taste like it's void of joy and happiness? Like, what do you mean?
Stop.
And then he was like, no, they don't taste gluten-free. So I
Kind of
ordered
like
brownies.
your burgers without cheese.
Yeah. No, gluten-free brownies are the worst. Anyway, so that's probably going to be God's next thing for me is like, oh, by the way, now that you're off of lactose, how about gluten? But
yeah, he's coming for you.
He comes back after getting me this brownie, and I was like, this is disgusting. And Chelsea's like, don't you tell him it's disgusting. I'm like, I'm not going to. And then he comes back, and he's like, hey, how was the brownie? I was like, it's disgusting. I had to tell the truth. It's like, this is the worst brownie I've ever had. And he's like, I'm sorry. And he's like, yeah, you should be.
He was
you
really
lied
upset.
to me. I asked a very specific question.
He was very upset.
You could have just said these are trash brownies, and I'd have been fine.
But ultimately, 100%. And ultimately, though, it's one of those things for me where I feel like a lot of people have an intimate life that they don't enjoy. Okay. And they never say a word. They just do it.
Just grit.
Yep. They just do it. It's over 3 days later or a week later or 2 weeks later or whatever
like
that looks like.
Half later. If you're
especially if you're not enjoying it, right?
Yeah.
You go back in, the exact same thing, not good. You don't enjoy it. Then you walk away. And for whatever reason, you are shocked that you don't enjoy your intimate life. Like, it is literally like going to a restaurant and getting the same thing that you've gotten for years and you've hated it every single time. And then every single time you go back and you're like, why do I hate this? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like me
right?
and milk.
Bedford's feeling a certain way. But like, that's the truth, right?
Yeah.
And so for a long time, there were certain things that I was like, I don't really like that. I do not enjoy that. That's not giving me what I want, right? And I think it can kind of feel uncomfortable, which is crazy that it's uncomfortable to talk to your partner. And in speaking with women, I feel like a lot of women have been like, well, I don't want to hurt my partner's feelings. Like, I don't want to say like, hey, I don't like when you do that, and then have that hurt my partner's feelings, right? But like, why are we going back to the same place that we didn't enjoy and thinking that we're going to enjoy it? And so that's the communication piece that I actually think has made the biggest difference, is being able to literally mid whatever session say, I don't like that. And then receptively, he's like, all right, cool. Like, right? Or having conversations about like, actually, I prefer this. Actually, I like this better. This is good. I don't like this. Whatever that looks like. Huge difference maker.